Okay, I'm gonna share how I start my workflow in a how I open up in Raw and work from there. Um, One thing I do is when I first open up my Raw file, you got here, and then you can go in here, and it's a custom menu for workflow options, and I click down here in Photoshop, open Photoshop as a smart object. Okay, so when you open it out of RAW, it'll be a smart object. I'll show you the advantage of that. Okay, so we say okay, so make sure that's clicked. Say okay. And so now we're in here. Now, first thing I gotta do, this was crooked, but I think I straightened it out earlier, so, but we'll take a look at it. Yeah, I did straighten it out. I don't know if, can I do it? Okay, well, let's just take this point down here, right there, and drag it along right there. And hit return, and that should straighten it. Okay. So there we go. There we have it. That's how you straighten out a photo. If you're on the horizon of an ocean, just click that straighten tool up here, and just follow the horizon, and it'll straighten out. Now, when I'm first in my settings, I'm just that's a plain basic flat picture, and I hit auto, and auto picks up stuff. It picks up some settings that I've already got set, and just I drop the highlights down, and I take the shadows up, and then I add some contrast, and down here I'd use texture. And if I'm doing a model or something, I'll run the texture the other way because it'll soften the skin quite nicely. Then I'll add some clarity, which will darken this down a bit, and then some dehaze, and then you can add a little saturation if you want. I usually do that in Photoshop, and then touch it up a bit. Okay, and then I can say open object. So now I'm in Photoshop. I'm out of Camera Raw, but say, oh darn, I forgot something in Camera Raw, so I don't have to shut this down and reopen it and go back to sharpen. I just double click that, I'm back in Raw. Now I can just do a little bit of sharpening at 60%. Hold my Option key down and hit my masking, and as I take this out, only the white, whatever you see white, is what gets sharpened. So all I'm doing is going to sharpen the edges. So I'm up around 89%. That sharpens the edges. It's not that noticeable. You can do other sharpening when you get into Photoshop. You can change it to black and white, and then come back. But let's just open up. So now we're in Photoshop. I can change it to black and white here also. I'm not going to. And I'm going to crop it. I think this doesn't need to show that much parking lot. So I crop it there. And I think that's basically all I can do. Then I can do some stuff in, like I can take my action tool and do a dodge and burn. Oops, I didn't crop it. I gotta crop it first. Then I run my action. So I've got a dodge and burn. So say I want to burn something, like I'll just take a brush, and just a regular brush, and just say I want to darken the sky a bit, make it a little more nasty sky. And if you get some bright spots in here too, you could probably, no, that's a bit too much. Okay, I would say contact. I would take that brush down to about 30% opacity, and just burn that in a bit. Just sort of take the edge off it a bit. You know, and you can burn these bricks in a bit too if you want. just add some flavor, some depth, or what. I do this when I do models. I'll do their cheeks. And if you got a girl that's got a bit of a chunky face, but by putting shadows on their cheeks and on the sides of their face, that thins out their face, and you can just shape their face with dodging and burning. You know, if you want to do some dodging, you can come in here and say, I'll hit this red sign and just make that a little bit brighter. And then you can do the doors, whatever you want to. Oh, I should bring that back up to 100%. Whatever you want to do, you just do. So that I'm being sloppy here, but you see what you can do. And even after you do all that stuff, you can still go back into Camera Raw, and you can make adjustments. Say, oh, I want add more vibrance to that. And you want to add more saturation to it. And just say, okay, then you're back into Photoshop again. When I get into other parts of Photoshop, I'll flatten the smart object. Like I come up here with the brush, and I get an X there, and I press X, and it says the object must be right side before proceeding. So I say, okay, now I'm out of the smart object. I can't go back to raw now. I'm strictly Photoshop now. So I hope that helps. It's just a basic thing of how I start my pictures, and hope it works for you too. Thank you.